Do you want to talk? Do you have thoughts on the Chappelle special?
Kinda. Do you?
We try not to fucking talk too much about comedy because I think it's interesting only to comedians.
Interesting.
But on the other hand, if you have thoughts on it, I'd be happy to hear them.
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
Good, bad.
I thought the special was just kind of lame, and the fixation on the trans thing was kind of
He's
like,
gotten
what are you
really
doing?
obsessed
He just feels like an old guy. It's like, come on, man.
it
Nobody
just-
gives a fuck.
It seems out of touch.
Yeah.
And it feels like he's really like he's
He's-
chosen this hill to die on,
Yes.
He's in
which
a,
is
he's in a bubble right now.
Yes.
And he's getting this feedback loop of like, this is what the
Exactly.
world is, and this is what you have to talk about, and this is what it's important. And he's like, for him, it's the issue of the day. And it's kind of this weird kind of tangential internet thing that you're actually drawing attention to in this weird way.
Yes. Totally. I mean, you go ahead.
I do like his attempt to. It is an attempt. I think he fails at it, but I think he's trying to bring people together at the end. He's like,
but
I'm not going to talk about till we're all laughing together again, and I kind of appreciate that. But the jokes were bad.
But it's stupid in a way when you're like the basic point of it is he seems to misunderstand or not understand the fact that multiple groups can be oppressed.
Yes.
And so it'll always be like, oh, trans people have it bad? Well, I'm black. It's like, that is also true.
Yeah.
Those can both be true.
But he takes it a step further where he's like, he's doing this like Kanye thing of like, I'm not just black, I'm a black millionaire.
Yeah.
And like, that's my silo that I'm struggling in. But in doing that, it's making all of us go, we're not millionaires, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we don't give a fuck that Kevin Hart wasn't allowed to host the Oscars.
Yeah.
Nobody,
I mean,
most people think the Oscars and the Emmys are the same thing.
Nobody
fucking cares.
I think, and I've also think you've jumped the shark a little bit. Like when you refer, like you're not calling yourself the greatest of all time,
right?
But you do say lots of people call me the greatest of all
Yeah,
time. That's so Trumpian to like do
Yeah.
that.
He's
like,
very Trumpian.
People are saying
it's
saying about me.
He's got a runaway ego, and you just watch it, and you're like, dude, it's at a certain point you're just watching a guy masturbate. Talking about how great he is, and he's like, I walked away from the money. It's like, did you? You also like came back and asked for the money back, too, and then you made a whole special about how you're asking for the money back. So it's like at a certain point,
No, for sure, and also like this is the thing that happens with stand-ups a lot. I know you don't want to talk too much about comedy, even though one of my stories is about stand-up, but
that's fine.
A lot of the time, stand-ups they'll get into like sort of a little bit of a kerfuffle with some random thing or some celebrity or somebody online, and then they'll do a bit about it, and then there'll be feedback, and then they'll do another bit about it, and it'll just be kind of a compounding thing that's not real, and it's just fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
People do that all the time, right?
It's wrestling.
And that's what he's doing, except he's doing it with this like thing that's kind of an issue in the world, and so it kind of he's tricking simpletons into thinking that he has like a deeper point, but it's really just a comedian doing a thing comics do,
yeah,
which is just keep the bit going,
and
just
don't make a point by bringing up your dead friend.
Oh my God!
I know that
it's like extremely cringeworthy.
Yeah,
that was rough.
Yeah.
No, but he also makes this mistake, which is misunderstanding that just because there are anecdotes, this doesn't mean that there's not like he's like, hey, I knew one trans person and she liked my comedy, so that must mean that I'm right about everything. It's like, oh fuck, man,
dude.
I didn't know that you had a trans friend.
Yeah.
It's so Trumpian. It's very like I'm an everyman because I met one person.
No, because you fucking hire one transgender person that is willing, like a race trader or some shit like that. Right. You have Candace Owens, and you're like, I guess I must be cool with black people.
I think the truth is that comedy is actually very bad at making political points that are correct.
It's the war.
Like you can always think about it and find out where something was wrong, and so you just have to kind of like try and stay funny while you're doing it. And if once you give that up, you're just bad propaganda in a way.
A little bit. Yeah.
What's difficult is what's unfortunate is that comedy is very bad at taking you into new territory. Comedy can reinforce ideas that you already have, right, or prejudices that you already have, right. So if there's just like underlying transphobic sentiment, it's very easy to make a trans joke that uses that and makes you laugh at that. In the same way that if you go to like Brooklyn shows and then there's like pro-trans stuff, you can make an anti-transphobic joke and everybody laughs.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to get people to think in a nuanced way and to get them somewhere where they already aren't. And so then it's almost like it would be just so much more interesting to talk about literally anything else in a comedy special than the same conversation that it's impossible to make headway in.
I think it's hard. Yeah, it's harder to talk about airplane food than they're doing those jokes or doing. It's hard to talk about something mundane because it's not politically charged already.
Like the other day, I was eating some airplane food and it had a dick. You know, and it really fucking fucked me up.
Yeah. I was like, is this a dick?
Like, I can't believe I have to suck this in front of that kid sitting next to me. Oh, fuck.
Also, why is it that kid's dick?
Why are there only 9 dicks in the bag of dicks that they give you? You know the little salted dicks that they give you on airplane? There's only 9.
And yet, the dick bun package, they got 12 of them.
Right.
You know, when are they going to set it up?
Right, exactly. All right, so we've come full circle. So, that was... the Chappelle special, it seemed out of touch. And the funniest thing to me about Chappelle is... I think the guy's funny. I mean, the special had a ton of very, very lazy jokes.
I mean, he's brilliant, but
he's funny.
Your
he's
4th special in like 3 years.
That's another thing. It's like when you have to produce that much material.
Yeah.
I mean, not even a genius, is capable of churning it out like that.
Right.
Well, no, but the funnier thing to me about Chappelle is that people will be like, dude, he's like our modern day philosopher. It's like, have you read a book? Have you read one book? Because the guy's like, hey, trans people, bad experiences. Black also, and people are like, oh, my brain. Oh fuck, I hadn't thought about it like that. And then they're like, it's like he sees the light, and fucking watch a documentary.
The truth
or
is, it's not that
like,
even that their brains are being blown. It's that it's like you're saying what I already feel.
Right.
Like you have these ideas that I already have that I've heard a million times, and you're saying them in a better way than I can because you're a trained performer.
Right.
You know.
Right,
So,
it's like you're very good at expressing my very, very basic, stupid ideas.
Yeah,
And to me, I'm like, oh, finally.
It's so funny because philosophers like literally hated people like that.
Right,
like,
right.
They're called like sophists or something.
Yeah.
Right, and that was every philosopher was like, fuck those people who like don't actually say anything new.
Right,
and that's what we have. But that's all stand-up can be, as you were saying. It can't be It can't really be anything new.
It's called sophistry.
Sophistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned a new word.
In ancient Greece,
I learned a new word.
Plays, I think. The sophists.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm going to start calling people that.
Yeah, good luck.
From stage.
Good luck making insults that nobody understands.
Yeah.
Right?
Next time I get heckled, I'll be like, look at this fucking sophist.
Yeah. You can say Philistine. That one stuck around.
Yeah, that's racist as hell.
Really?
A Philistine?
Yeah. Oh, is that a type of person?
I mean, in Arabic, the way you say Palestine is Philistine.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. It's just Philistine, and that's like what we refer to as like idiot, dumb people.
That's what we refer to.
So we're
as
calling them Palestinians?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
I did not know that. But that's what we refer to as people who have bad taste.
Right.
Like people,
exactly.
People like Taylor Swift were like, what a Palestinian. Came up with this fucking guy like the last Taylor Swift album.
Hilarious.
Go back to Gaza, you fucking
you fucking Philistine.
Yeah. That's wild. I did not know that. That's I learned something new.
Wow.
It's true. Yep.
Yeah. The more you read, the less words you can use. It really is frustrating.
That's not true.
The history of every word is mired in tragedy.
A little bit. Yeah. English, at least. The English language.
You know, you're not allowed to say gypsy, disgusting gypsy dog. You know,
yeah.
Throw rocks at the Roma people. Did you know you're not allowed to do that anymore?
Damn.
Yeah, that's fucked up. It's so funny that we do it. Like that's like a residually racist thing from Europe that's made its way over to America.
Also, and there's no Romas here, and also who's making the complaint? The Romas?
Right.
Right.
No,
They're
someone
dumb.
else.
Yep.
Someone else walked by and was like, "I'm deciding that that's racist."
Right.
Yeah.
All this identitarian shit is complete bullshit.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
stupid. It sucks.
Right.
It's boring.
It's boring.
It's a distraction.
The bigger thing is it's boring. It's a boring conversation, and it's already a conversation where you're gonna get nowhere with it. And I agree, it's a distraction from like real issues.
It's like it's for me. It's like they're pretending to do this like improvised dance with each other. Like let's just but every movement is carefully like mediated out between the conversations when they're going over these issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like my wife was like, she's a preschool teacher, and she was like, we get Indigenous Peoples Day off.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's Columbus Day.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, it's just the same day. It's just renamed.
I was wondering what happened to that day.
They didn't even rename it. They didn't the calendar on
Yeah,
Google
it's
Calendar
both.
says Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day.
That's all identity politics wins.
Can you imagine having a holiday like for you, but also celebrated the guy that murdered you.
Yes,
it's like
that is awkward.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, just make it in separate days.
God damn.
It's like what, and then when you try to get rid of Columbus Day, Italians are like, hey, that's our guy.
You're asking for a riot between
So
parades at that
funny.
point,
Right.
where it's like Indigenous People Parade and the Columbus Day Parade.
Right.
Parade. Yeah.
But it's
Dude.
so funny that they're like, and here's how you get to the real issue. Is like, can we give them another day? And they're like, I don't know if people need that much time off.
Right, that's right.
Capitalism's like, whoa, buddy, slow down.
They're like, yeah, but
bottom line.
we need the labor and the economy, and so like we care about them. So how about we give you the guy who you claim committed genocide / the people who were genocided day?
It's such an American. It's such a
Yeah.
fucking American solution. Dude.
Right.
It's just do them together.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah. You guys sort
It's
it
like
out.
it's like Taco Bell combination Pizza Hut.
Sure.
Or
yes.
not.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
wow.
in a way.
That was-
No, in a way, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. In
No,
a way,
no
in that
way.
it's two things.
There are two
all right,
things
all right,
here.
okay. They're not all winners, guys.
Taco Bell combination Pizza Hut. You know how Italians invaded Mexicans?
Well, pizza,
Yeah.
And
pizza's
they-
Italian.
they
It
have-
kind of makes sense.
They have a long, tense history.
Dude, that's my favorite thing from The Sopranos is that episode about Columbus Day and like how they're all angry that they want to get rid of it.
I was gonna bring
Yeah.
that up, but then because I referenced The Sopranos too much, he shits all
Dan
over me.
has seen
Oh.
Goodfellas and The Sopranos, and that's it. And every single
Hey,
topic that
I've
we
seen
talk
so
about.
many. I've seen
Yeah.
so many movies. It's just that it always does go back to.
I
a
mean,
mob
The
movie.
Sopranos is the best
Yeah.
for a reason.
Thank you.
And it's because everything you say can be tied to it.
Yeah.
Right,
and
right,
also
right.
every line of the dialogue is quotable.
For the most part,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think this is particularly germane
Relevant.
to what we're talking
Sure,
about.
Yeah.
sure.
Because the idea I was going to bring up is that all these American Italians care about Columbus Day, and then the one Italian guy, Furio, was like,
doesn't give a
"Oh,
shit.
we hate Columbus.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck him. He's like a rich piece of shit."
Well,
Yeah.
the whole point of that, when they go to Italy, part of the point of that show was this entire Italian American identity is completely false, and then you go
Yeah.
to Italy, and it has nothing to do with
Right.
Italy, and it's just like
They're
this
so
this-
removed.
Yeah, this
Yep.
constructed identity where it's like you made it up and it makes you feel good, but this is based on nothing. It's based
Right.
on a fantasy.
No, that was
They don't
the-
even pronounce the fucking words right.
That was
right?
like Paulie Walnuts went
spaghetti.
to Italy, and then he kind of realized he was like, I'm gonna get back to my roots, and then
Yeah.
he realized that he hated everything
Right.
there,
Right.
and everyone was a dick to
Everyone
him.
Right.
hated him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even the prostitute was rude to him.
Yes.
yeah, like the prostitute just sitting there getting like taking her
Yeah.
clothes on. He's like trying to have conversation. He's like whatever. He's like, oh man, I miss the prostitutes back home.
Right.
And then when he gets home, he's got this big moment where he's looking through he's riding through shitty ass New Jersey. And he's got like a tear in his eye because he's back
Right.
home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. It's just a classic thing of fucking grass is greener. You know,
Right.
I don't know.
And I mean, when you're in America, you're just in this cesspool of nothingness.
Well, everybody's trying
And
to
you're
differentiate
searching for
themselves.
something,
and-
you know?
Yeah,
Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
What?
Cesspool of nothingness.
If you're
Kind of,
if you're
in
a
terms of
white
culture.
if you're a white American, you have no real group and no real culture and no calling. You're just a guy there,
Yeah.
and you're like, what am I? You're just like a fucking blank slate. So then people are like, I'm Irish. That's what
Right.
I'm the Irish
oh,
guy.
I see what you're saying.
I'm
yeah,
Italian,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
latch onto this thing that doesn't exist.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm fucking Latino, and I refuse to talk about it.
Yeah. Or look like it.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
look like it.
Right.
I grew up speaking Spanish. All this shit.
Oh,
People are,
really?
like,
Is that your first language?
When I hear him speaking Spanish, it blows my mind.
Yeah. My parents are both from Colombia, and they moved here. I mean, I was born here, and then we moved to Colombia, and I moved back. And so I was speaking Spanish. My Spanish is okay. I just had somebody clean my apartment, and we were speaking in Spanish, which is the extent of my Spanish these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm fluent, and I don't know. It's so weird. Here's the weirder thing is to go on stage and just like completely lean into this because it's what people want, because it's like being rewarded. You know.
Yeah.
You mean lean into what your cultural identity?
shit.
Yeah.
And just go up and like people are doing like a fucking minstrel show of their identities and be like, hey, I'm
That's
the
true.
Italian guy, blah blah blah. And it's
Yeah.
like, how much do you like? You're in bed at night and your heart is like, oh, I'm so Italian.
yeah.
How
Yeah,
much
it's-
does it mean to
yep.
you? Does
Oh,
it fucking mean anything?
Well, you just want a career. That's the thing.
Yeah, I
And the
guess.
thing is, like, when I first came here, I was like, oh, I need to stop doing hacky
Jew
Jew
shit.
stuff. Yeah, because
Right.
I was coming from
because
Berlin.
you were like, if I'm not careful, I'll have a career soon.
yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
you were coming from where?
What I was but I
we
lived
started comedy in Berlin and Germany together.
and in,
That's right.
like at
Yeah.
that
So
place, it
weird.
was just
Yeah.
it's just really easy.
It's really bad idea.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really could not recommend it enough.
Is it bad?
Could not
In Germany?
recommend not doing.
German stand-up?
No,
It's
it was
just-
fun, but it's just
It's super fun. You can get it to a certain level there, but at a certain point, like if we were in Chicago, we would be able to be making connections with New York
With
while we were
clubs.
developing in Berlin.
And with other comics
so
who are
once
going to be in New York eventually.
So
you know?
yeah, no one's
You
really
hit the
coming
ceiling.
by. Yeah. So and once you make the move, it's kind of like networking wise, you're starting from zero.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Sure.
how it's tough.
It's really interesting because like you see comedians who are the number one person in their like obscure country, and they
Right.
come here and it's like, who the fuck
Like
are you?
France. I was reading about this country, France.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Easy.
They haven't not only have they not heard of you, they haven't heard of fucking Egypt. They're like,
Yeah.
that's not a place,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The number one
Um,
comedian in Egypt.
Bassam Youssef.
Oh, okay. You know him?
I do know him. He lives here now.
Yeah.
He just did Caroline's.
Was this the guy who was
One night.
who was like the Jon Stewart of
Yeah.
Egypt, and then they were saying that he was they were suppressing his free speech. and
Yeah,
he was
so-
going to get in trouble.
Egypt had just recently gotten free speech because they overthrew Hosni Mubarak, who was like their dictator for 30 years.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then Bassam, this guy had the show that was like critiquing the new democratically elected government, and they were like, "All right, can we not?"
they were like,
Yeah.
okay, when we said
Hey.
free, we,
Yeah,
didn't really,
yeah,
we,
yeah.
we didn't know that you were going to come for us.
We
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
mean
yeah.
American
Yeah.
free.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
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 And now they have a
meanwhile-
dictatorship again. So
Yeah.
hell yeah,
Yeah. So now he's here.
now it's here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to open up a fucking bag of worms, but I mean, free speech in America works differently, where it's like, oh, you can say whatever you want, but if you don't have corporate money behind it,
Right.
literally no one's going to hear it. So you have free speech in that you can have a podcast, but
Yeah.
you're never going to get on television if you're critiquing corporations
Yes.
in a real serious way.
Yeah.
Like you can be
Right.
Jon Stewart and be like, well,
Yeah,
you know,
but
Bill
just
Gates
be-
should pay more taxes.
Yeah, but just it also doesn't give you the right to be heard by everyone just because you're doing something.
sure.
There has to be some sort of appeal in it.
all right, sure.
But okay, let's put the bag of worms away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more worms.
Yeah. You want to talk about a scam?
You got scams?
Sure. I mean, it's kind of it's in the stand-up world, so it's not like
No, it's
the
good.
worst thing that ever happened
If
to
it's
me. But
as long as it's not a bringer show,
I mean, no, it's not a bringer show. Well, okay, so
set the scene for us.
okay, it was like it's 2015. What was that,
2015.
6 years ago.
Pre-Trump.
Pre-Trump, right?
Obama's
it was
president.
during
Everybody feels good about being American.
a little. Well, I think it's in that era where people weren't kind of paying attention to what was going on.
Right.
Like people were like, "Oh, Hillary will be the president. It's fine."
Yeah,
It was-
yeah.
It was a lot of that. But Trump was gaining traction. It was like he was still
Mhm.
kind of a joke, but he was gaining traction. And I got this comedy festival just for laughs. It's this
Wow.
big comedy festival.
Very important. It's
Yeah.
the
Very
biggest,
important.
biggest industry festival.
Biggest
for
industry
newer
festival
comics.
for
Yes.
new comics in stand up.
Where were you living?
I think it's technically the biggest festival in the world, right?
I don't know.
Uh,
Edinburgh
really?
is a
Yeah,
bigger
what about Edinburgh?
festival.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm talking
in
about
terms of
like
industry.
industry and sway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big industry
I mean,
festival.
I bet India's got some crazy shit popping off where like,
yeah,
900 million people go and they're all agents and they're all,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Or China. I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I missing something?
just for samosas.
Just
Yeah.
So just for laughs, but seems to be a big deal. I was living in Atlanta, Georgia,
Where you're
fairly
from?
new.
You're
I'm from
there?
Florida, but
Yeah.
that's where I had been like living, and I was, felt
Right.
very anchored in Atlanta.
That's where you started doing comedy seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I had been doing it in Gainesville, Florida for like 3 years, so that's quite a long time.
But
for
you
a new
started when you were
comic.
young.
Yeah, I was 18
When you started,
when I started. Yeah.
were
yeah,
you
yeah.
in college?
I was at the University of Florida, and I was just doing,
So you stayed in Gainesville because you were finishing college and doing comedy while you were in college.
right. And I got done with college as quickly as I could. I wanted to
Right.
do did summer classes, all that
Oh,
shit,
wow.
because I hated
So
it.
you did 3 years.
I did 3 years, yeah, and I
Wow.
did open mics and I did coffee shops. I did everything that was really rough. And then I moved to Atlanta, and that was like that's a good scene. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever been to Atlanta for comedy. It's great. And then I got Just for Laughs, and it's like they tell it to you like you're gonna be fucking famous. It's
Right,
gonna
right,
be this
right.
big deal. You're gonna get seen by industry and by reps,
Right.
and it's the biggest thing that's ever happened to you. Basically, I jumped when I got the call
Yeah.
from now canceled Jeff Singer.
Yeah.
There's this guy who used to book it. He wears a fedora,
Oh,
and everyone.
got
can we
Me
talk
Too.
about why you got canceled? Real
Yeah.
quick?
Oh my god.
What?
yeah.
He just refused to stop saying the N word in an awkward conversation.
He said the N word
He
like
said-
2 times or
he's-
some shit.
He said, well, when he got canceled, he was talking to a journalist and he was saying the N word, but he was like, "What? I was repeating the guy's act. I didn't want to butcher his act."
Yeah.
So
I was talking about Chris Rock, my
Dude.
good friend.
This was in 2021.
Yeah,
this
that
was
this
recently.
year.
But but in addition to that, he got a bunch of complaints because apparently he used to tell women on stage like I don't like it when women wear shorts.
Yeah.
Like he would tell them what to wear.
Yeah, he had a bunch of really weird beliefs and feelings about stand-up that were definitely wrong and felt like a big deal. And then the second I got done with Just for Laughs, I never thought about him ever again.
Right.
Until he got canceled.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, that guy.
Oh, that makes sense.
That weird guy.
Yeah.
That like, and it's funny because the only people who care about him are people who haven't done it.
Right.
Because then once you do it, you're like, that was a scam.
Oh, really?
Okay.
A little bit. I
so
mean,
you feel the general idea is that JFL is a scam.
I mean, okay, no,
So
did you lose money?
I probably broke even.
Okay.
Because they gave us 2 shows, which was the first time they ever did that. They gave you your showcase where you're like an industry showcase kind of thing.
How long do you do?
You do 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's like the JFL, for your listeners, is like the classic quintessential like stand up in the 80s showcase where you go up and you do your 5 minutes. You do what you were talking about, Dan, where you do your like cartoon version of yourself.
I look like this. And my fucking mom talks
my name
like
is
this.
Santiago.
Yeah.
I'm from Colombia. Arepas, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what it's for. And then ideally, you know, agents slither next to you, and they're like, "Ooh, I want to give you a deal."
But in their mind, they're picturing a sitcom based on that 5 minutes, and that doesn't exist anymore.
That doesn't exist anymore,
Yeah.
and it probably only existed for 12 people ever.
Right,
but like for some reason, we all think that it's
those 12
people.
people.
That's the industry
Those
standard
12.
somehow.
Yes.
Also, those 12 people are billionaires. That is why.
Right, they're all
it's
Kevin
like Ray
James.
Romano.
Seinfeld, Ray Romano. Who else actually
Oh, that's
successfully?
right. Yeah.
From JFL. I mean,
Right,
I
like
think
Drew
it's Ray Romano.
Carey,
Well,
right?
Seinfeld was already big when
Yeah.
JFL kind of popped off, but I think it was like Ray Romano and Kevin James and Tim Allen were like the big guys that like blew up from JFL.
Right.
They got sitcoms from it.
Right.
And I doubt more than that. Maybe like 4 other people that I can't think of. So anyway, it doesn't really happen.
Sure.
But we all pretend it does because stand-up is so bleak and desolate that you need to have like some like little
thing to look forward to.
Something that means something.
Yeah.
You know.
So anyway, how old are you when this happened?
22.
You're 22.
Oh.
You get a call. Jeff Singer.
Oh,
buddy, you're in.
jumped. I was working at a dog bakery and I ran outside and I
Dog
jumped.
bakery?
Yeah, bakery for dogs.
Okay.
What did you bake? Well, I mean,
We
like
baked
dog treats.
Peanut butter dog treats. Yeah.
I feel like you buried the lead here.
Yeah.
The scam is that you used to bake food for dogs.
Is that a really thing that dogs really like peanut butter?
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know
that was
They
a-
like them so much they will suck your dick.
They will. They will.
No,
They will.
I just thought that was an ongoing joke of peanut butter. I didn't know it was an actual thing that they were like prefer peanut butter.
No, they do like peanut butter.
Dan,
I don't.
you don't have to play dumb with us here.
Okay.
What? Dogs like peanut butter? Oh, how would I know that? How would I, Daniel Vetza?
Oh,
I see.
that's why my dog has been sucking my dick because I cover in
fuck.
peanut butter. My bad.
Exactly.
I thought my dog loved me, but I guess not. I guess it's just
your
the peanut
dog was
butter on
in
my
love
dick.
with you.
Yeah.
Exactly. All
So
right.
Taj Mahound. That's where I was
What-
working.
What kind of Tasha Mahound?
Taj Mahound.
Oh wow.
Like Taj Mahal.
They looked at you and they were like Indian, right?
It's so funny. I mean, the lady was just a white woman named Krista from
Yeah.
Long Island, and I worked there every day for a long time, and
I
people would walk in and be like,
Why?
Are you
the
Taj?
Yeah.
Why the Taj Mahal reference?
Literally-
if it's dog treats.
Just a pun.
Okay.
Because it's
Just a
rich.
pun.
It opulence, right?
Oh,
Yeah, all the things
send
you
your
think
pup
of
to
when
the
you
Taj
imagine
Mahal. Yeah.
dogs.
Love
Okay.
the horrible names
Yeah.
in small town businesses where it's just horrible.
Yeah.
You see Thai restaurant called Tie Me Up. and you're
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
why not?
What?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that real?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Tie Me Up.
Probably.
It would
There's
be.
one in Bed-Stuy called Bed's Tie.
That's actually not bad.
That's pretty bad, man.
I like that, Bed's Tie.
Um,
Dude, Asian restaurants, they really go for it.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh,
go for the puns.
I,
yeah.
or there's something like good Asian number one.
Right,
You're
right.
like,
They're,
wow.
it's either like they're trying to be clever or they're like, this
Yeah.
is just
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
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 Teriyaki food kitchen. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
One time I saw something was like Asian food number one. I was like, oh, they're saying that they're number one. And then I went in another neighborhood and I was like Asian food number 4. I was like, oh, it's a fucking owned by number. He's got 4.
Right.
I know he's got
Oh,
at least
there.
4. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one on my street called You Like. It
Yeah.
was the letter U and then like, and it was a Chinese restaurant.
Was there like a question mark after it or
No,
yeah.
it was a
You
command.
like? Yeah.
It was a statement.
Yeah.
You like. Yeah. All right. Okay. So you're making. Did you bake the treats yourself?
Yeah, I baked him. I mean, that's actually my favorite job I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, you'd
I
work,
mean-
10 hours a day and just like fucking bake.
Also, no one's gonna return
Yeah.
Like, my dog didn't like this.
Well, we did a lot of wholesale. We would bake huge batches, and then we would ship them to other dog bakeries.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
And yeah,
I like to just other dog bakeries.
They're out there. I mean,
Yeah.
PetSmart will have like a little cookie or whatever that
Yeah,
has
yeah.
a picture of a fucking
Yeah.
Auburn football
Meanwhile,
team thing or
is it-
whatever.
It's just about how, because dogs will fucking eat anything.
Yeah.
So it's just about like
It's for the owners.
they're not supposed to have carbs or
Yeah.
grains and shit like that. So it's about making stuff with things dogs are supposed
it's
to
like,
eat.
what's the ingredient? No chocolate. That's all you got to
Well,
do.
we actually used carob, which is a type of chocolate.
Carob?
Carob. Yeah, it's like really, really dark,
Yeah.
but like not. It's technically not chocolate. It's from another plant.
Yeah.
Right.
But it tastes exactly the same. If you're on keto, you probably eat carob. It's
well,
like
I don't
disgusting.
think the problem with chocolate, if you're keto, is the chocolate. It's the sugar.
Right, the sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, carob has like no sugar. That's the point.
But neither does chocolate. All right. Anyways.
But yeah, it does.
No, cacao.
Oh, cacao. Oh, I
the
see.
right,
pure
like
bean-
cacao is chocolate, so you can replace cacao with carob, but you
but,
still have
but
to
with
add
dogs,
all this other shit.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
dogs, there's something about the cacao itself that kills
Oh,
them. It's
right.
toxic. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay, so you
Anyway.
worked at a
You never killed a dog before, Jesus.
yeah. You never poisoned a dog before?
Jesus Christ.
yeah,
God, I thought I knew you, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
all these years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so you were working at this place.
we're gonna dog
Yeah,
bakery.
yeah,
You
touch
got the
me on.
call.
Got the call. Went outside. I was jumping in the air. Like, it was like so cute. And I called my girlfriend. Like, I got just for that. And
This is not your wife, by the way.
not my wife. No,
All right.
this
We'll
is the
get to-
Polish
we'll
chick.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, yeah.
What was
yeah.
her name?
The Pole?
Yeah,
Yola.
Yola. Nice.
Schonstick.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, her last name is insane.
Schonstick. Yeah.
Is it weird that I just used her last name?
Are we gonna bleep that out?
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So anyway, biggest thing that ever happened to me.
No one will be
so
able
excited.
to. No one will be able to spell it. To
No,
Google
literally
it.
no one will.
So,
Literally
so I
nobody
think
will
you're
be able
safe.
to. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm not even kidding. There's
Also,
Z's
there's
and
probably
C's in it.
multiple correct spellings.
Actually, Polish is a Latin alphabet, so everything is
Oh, okay.
There's the
Yeah,
Polish way
it's-
to spell it.
yep.
All right. So biggest thing that's happened to you in your life.
yeah, JFL. I have to fly myself out there.
Yeah.
To Montreal.
oh,
it's
I
always
see.
in Canada, so you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
fly yourself out. And I'm doing a version of Just for Laughs that's for people that are unrepped, that don't have
Yeah.
agents or managers.
It's actually
Yeah.
called Unwrapped.
It's called
right?
Unwrapped,
Yeah.
yes. And I think they might have done away with it now, but that's how they did it for the last probably 15 years, maybe. I might
Yeah.
be wrong. Where they have like a repped class. So these are the people that are already doing well, they're already working. And then unrepped class, people
Yeah.
that are just living in Atlanta working at dog bakeries who are not
Right.
really in the industry.
Right.
And so it's really for people like me. Like the
Yeah.
idea of like being broken was for somebody who is just fucking working hard and
Being
Yeah.
broken, like breaking in.
breaking
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's for people that like don't really have an in yet.
Right.
And then I got there and I was so happy. I remember I was smiling the whole like first day.
Yeah.
And they showed us the rooms, the people who were running the festival, they showed us the different theaters, and there's this theater, there's that theater, and they brought us to our theater, and they're like, oh, it's going to be packed. There's going to be
Yeah.
like 1,000 people here. And
Yeah.
they're half of them are going to be agents, and we've already sold out the room.
Yeah.
It's been sold out for months. That's what they told us. It's been sold out for fucking months. And
Yeah.
we were like, oh my God, I'm going to come,
Yeah.
And the first night we went to the Rept showcase, which was
Yeah.
in a much bigger theater than ours. It
Yeah.
was like a 3,000 seat theater maybe. And I might be completely misremembering it, but that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Huge, opulent, beautiful theater.
Right.
And the show was beautiful, like packed. Everyone went on, everyone killed, like great comics. And I'm
Yeah.
not shitting on any comedians in
Yeah.
this story.
Right.
Josh Johnson was there, Joel Booster, like great people
yeah.
who are doing a lot of cool shit now.
Yeah.
Killing, right? And then it came our night, and we get to the theater, and it's early. We're all there like 2 hours early, just because we're all nervous. We're all
Right.
young. We're all. Do you know like Jeffrey Asmus?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was there
Yeah.
with me. JP McDade, a lot of good
Nice.
dudes.
Yeah.
Janelle James,
Yeah.
cool people. And we look in the room like an hour in, waiting, and there's no one there.
Right.
And we're just kind of like, oh, that's interesting. There's no one here. And the lady who's running it's like, oh, don't worry. It's sold out. They'll be here.
Yeah.
They'll be here. Don't worry. And we're like, all right. Okay. Maybe it's Canadian. Maybe
Right.
they're late or something.
Wait
Yeah.
an hour in.
Yeah,
like,
those Canadians are
Yeah.
famous for being rude and late.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's still early.
But they're
still
French
not-
Canadians.
It's not showtime yet.
Right. It's not showtime. We're still there an hour early. And
Who shows up to a show an hour early, though? That's the thing.
true.
Yeah.
Well, maybe at a theater it's going to be packed. Maybe you want to get there
Nah.
early. Hey, is there any way I can use the bathroom real quick? I
Yeah.
don't want to kill momentum, but
It's okay.
I have to pee.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can we pause it?
yeah, we
Sure.
can pause it.
Is that weird?
No, we can. we'll just talk and then
normally the guests pee on camera.
Yeah.
So
that feels like
that's
a
how we
scam of
get
its own.
tips.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, we'll get that. It'll go on the Patreon.
That's how we get tokens.
Yeah. Don't worry. There's a camera in the toilet. We put that on the Patreon.
You gotta get up. You need to get up then. It's just right down there by the stairs. So what's up? What's been up with you?
Should we pause it for real or just keep on going?
No, we're gonna keep on
Keep on going. Yeah. Well, how do you think it's going so far?
That's fine.
I think he's bombing pretty hard.
I don't think so.
No, I think we should fucking do something to him after the
Yeah.
after the app yank and the old 1-2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's been up? You're completely off camera.
I'm not off
it's-
camera.
Look at me and look at you. I mean, we have a camera. We have a monitor here where you can see what's on the screen.
Yeah.
But what you don't realize is anytime you look at the monitor, you're facing the camera. But when you look at me, hold on.
Oh no, I see what you're
You're
saying.
complete-
No.
your
Yeah, 'cause
face
you're-
is off
yeah,
camera.
because
No.
I was moved here before.
No.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Fuck, man. I really wonder what was gonna happen with this story.
Yeah, I know. It's a suspense.
It's a nail biter.
Yeah. I mean, he's just doing rails of coke in there right now.
Yeah, man.
Gotta get this story good, man.
Yeah.
You're fucking it up.
You've never done coke, right?
I've never done cocaine.
If I got some, would you do it with me?
No, I would not. I don't have the desire to do cocaine.
I know.
It's
That's not what
in
I
me.
asked.
So the answer is no, because I don't want to. But
What
there's.
if you loved it? What if you took it and you loved
I'm
it?
so. Can you picture me doing coke?
Yeah.
What am I like on coke?
Normal level of confidence.
Oh, really? You think I have?
It brings you up to normal.
You think? Yeah.
Eye contact.
I'm like, coke is great. Wow,
Yeah.
this is great.
It
Yeah.
just makes you a normal person who can function.
What? I'm a functional person. I built this studio.
Yeah.
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 Thanks to crack. Yeah. That'll do.
Oh, crack. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Powder I don't deal with. I'm scared of powders.
Yeah, you know, it's just too late for me to start experimenting with drugs, to be honest. Can you
No, it's
imagine?
not.
Can you imagine I'm 40 and I ruined my life with coke?
No, but yeah, you know what I can't imagine is hold on, he's coming back through.
Have you ever done cocaine?
You got to stand up so you can get through.
Have I ever done cocaine?
Hold on, wait till you're on mic. We were just talking about Dan doing coke. We got to get back to your story, but fine.
Yeah.
Have you done cocaine? For sure you have.
No way. I've
You're-
never done any. Well, I smoked pot once.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I'm a Muslim, guys.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Alcohol never?
Never done alcohol ever.
Wow.
Okay, but since when is weed against the?
Yeah, lots of Muslims smoke weed.
Yeah.
Well, it's
It's what they do instead of drink, right?
How funny
No.
if it's in the Quran, they're like, hey, don't take ecstasy.
I mean, it's all extrapolation.
Thou shalt
right?
not swallow a iPods.
Thou shalt not roll balls.
Yes. No, it's all in there. No,
Yeah.
it says not to drink alcohol specifically, but then scholars are like, yeah, but that means like everything.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be getting intoxicated.
Lame scholars, the cool scholars, are
Some
like
cool-
dancing.
some schools
They're
cut-
dancing on a bus.
Some cool scholars doesn't say anything about huffing paint. I don't know. I think we can do that, guys.
Dude, that's
Exactly.
like that Mark Norman bit about like when we start having sex that the Bible hasn't gotten to, and it's like it doesn't say anything in here about fucking robots. I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. As long as it's a female robot.
Yeah.
Otherwise
Right.
it's gay. Right? Did you suck that robot's dick?
No, it's against God.
Yeah.
God's pissed. Oh, I said no robot dicks.
That's not a robot dick. That's a straw. It's got Coca-Cola inside.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, God loves Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
It's Ecclesiastics 3:16, right?
Okay. So you're straight edge.
No?
Not good. No, I'm kidding. Straight edge.
I guess technically, yeah.
I think it's different when
I
you're
mean, I feel like I
religious.
just gave you a douchey label that you're like,
Straight
don't
edge
call
is-
me
When I was
that.
in high school, I would have been like, yeah, I'm straight edge because I
Okay.
liked all those hardcore
Yeah,
bands
well,
that were straight
yeah.
edge.
That was the last time I didn't do drugs.
Minor
So
threat.
yeah.
Yeah, I just stuck with the lifestyle, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking hell yeah. Yeah, I've never done anything. I
That'd
just
be
smoked pot
funny
once.
if you did have the X's on
If I
your
had the
hands.
X's,
Yeah.
tattooing is also against Islam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We can't do anything.
Damn, dude. I feel like that's most religions. I mean, Jews can't get tattooed either.
Right.
Right?
Mm.
But I've seen a lot of
True.
pictures with Jews tattoos.
I mean this goes back to the identity thing we were talking about before.
You missed the Holocaust joke.
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, all right.
Because of Dan, we make a lot of Jew jokes, and I am not Jewish, and I don't want to be making so many fucking
Also,
Jew jokes.
I get very literal, so when you say that, I'm like, yeah, I know my friend Michael is Jewish and has tattoos. Like, I'm very bad. Comedically, it's a terrible instinct I
Your
have.
friend, the Holocaust survivor?
Yeah. 95-year-old guy.
He's got the fucking coolest
this
tattoo.
barcode.
It says N5.
He calls you up.
413. Yeah.
Want to get tacos? I'm like, sure. I don't know why you're calling me, man.
No cheese.
Yeah. No cheese. You know how it is. Yeah.
All right, let's get back into Jeff. So you don't do drugs. That's good. Dan, actually, Dan doesn't. Do you think if it's only for religious purposes that you don't do drugs?
Yeah, for sure. If I wasn't religious, I would probably do cocaine.
So what if?
Because I like coffee. I like being amped up. I love caffeine.
What if somehow, let's say something tragic happens and you lose your faith? Just bear with me. Cocaine?
Yeah, I would do it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Dan is Dan. What you're almost 40, and he's saying he's never done it, and he wouldn't do it because he feels he's too old to start doing drugs.
I think that's smart.
Keep it. Thank you. And but then again, this is coming from a guy that doesn't do coke.
Yeah,
No. I think he really means it. If he was a cokehead and loved coke and was like good, then that would be him being nice to me. But he's another guy that doesn't do coke.
Yeah.
My issue is that everyone I've ever talked to at a party on coke has made me want to kill that person. And I don't care how good you feel on coke. It's not worth being that to other people in that moment. I don't want to feel awesome and then ruin 5 people's lives with like being completely obnoxious to them and in their face and unrelenting. Fuck people on coke.
Yeah, coke's not good.
Yeah, it's not a good one.
I would do it if I could.
Yeah.
But I'm also a young guy, so I feel like I would have fun. I feel I'd run around the town shirtless and fucking grope people.
Yeah,
right.
It'd be great.
Right. Andy Haynes has a story about how he went to Mexico and smoked crack, and then he just ran up and down the beach chasing dogs.
Hilarious.
I'm not outing him. He does it on stage. But he was like, yeah,
smokes
man.
crack on stage?
Yeah.
And chases dogs.
Yeah.
Now that's not an opener. That's a closer right there. Yeah.
He's like, I can't go up. My act ran away.
Yeah. He just does that for 40 minutes, and after that he's like, so I'm single. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. No, man. You got to change those bits around.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. JF, it is on you for leaving in the middle of the story.
I mean, I had a piss.
I understand. Understandable. Yeah. Okay, so it's an hour before the show. Nobody's there. You guys are starting to get worried. What happens next?
We're starting to get worried. Then George Wallace walks in. Famous, legendary comedian. I don't know if you guys know. Black hero, gigantic man, wears like a paperboy hat all the time.
Right.
And he's our host. He's going to host the show. And we're like, oh, hell yeah, we got George Wallace.
Nice.
We all take a picture with George Wallace. Anyway, then it's like 10 minutes before the show. Yeah. And there's, in this theater that probably sits, close to 1,000 people, it's like maybe 30 people.
Together or spread out?
Spread out.
Wow.
Spread out.
That's even worse.
And my memory might be wrong in terms of how big the theater was. All I have
George Wallace's family.
Yeah.
Can I host the Unwrapped? It's like you got to bring 5 people, man. That's not what it is.
It looked like a bringer. It honestly did.
Yeah.
So then we're looking out there, and I was in such a state of like, I'm ready to do my 5 minutes. I'm ready to get the Tonight Show. That I didn't even think about it at the time. I was like, all right, there's no one here. That's fine. Also, when I was younger, I was very naive, so I just kind of took everything at face value and accepted it. So we just started the show. Meanwhile, the person who's coordinating the show is like, oh, well, we have it's sold out, so like people will be filling in. Don't worry, people will be filling in, right? And apparently, so all right, I'll leave this for afterwards. Okay. George Wallace, he goes on, and he starts doing crowd work. He starts talking to the crowd of 30 people in this huge theater, and it's the most awkward crowd work ever because everyone in the theater is either a comedian friend of mine who wanted to stop by and hang out, or an agent who was like, yeah, I'll go to the Unwrapped show, see what these fucking bumpkins have to offer. Yeah. And he keeps asking, like, oh, what do you do? And the person's like, I'm an agent. He's like, okay, what do you do?
How is George Wallace handling the situation of...
Because he's a 40-year veteran. He doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't care at all. He walked into it like, I already forgot that I did this.
It's
like,
a paycheck.
Completely didn't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he was pleasant. He, said every single one of our names wrong.
Yeah.
JB Ball's a really funny comic from Tampa. He brought him up as JB Hall.
Yeah.
And I remember afterwards he was like, "Ball, it's the first word you learn with the letter B. How could you fuck up
also,
ball?"
JP McDade was on. Like, how do you fuck that up?
I don't know how he did, but we could ask JP. He probably had it.
TZ McDad.
He just makes it even more Irish.
Yeah.
So he talks to everyone in the crowd, makes everybody uncomfortable. People start leaving the show.
He's walking the
people,
agents,
the
your
agents
friends.
that are like trying to get out.
Yeah.
And then he brings me on and I do my 5 minutes.
You're first.
I'm second.
Okay.
First is JB.
Okay.
JB Ball. JB Hall. Then me, and he says my name. I wouldn't be able to remember how fucked up he said it. And I do my 5 minutes, and given the situation, I did fine, you know?
Yeah.
But it was like insane. Like there was no world where it was a good show.
Right.
Nobody,
Right.
you know, bombing is a nice way to put whatever you did. Like I bombed. Everybody bombed. It was terrible.
Well, there's bombing.
And the show is so, for me, bombing is when everything's going well and then you are the person responsible for tanking it. It's on you. Bombing has to be on you.
It's
right.
Like if you're with a microphone in the woods, you're not bombing. You're just not doing anything.
Well, you're bombing life, but
exactly. I mean, you're right. You're right. You can take it out of the micro and be like, well, I'm not really bombing, but all of this is bombing.
Yeah.
Like I'm just a part of a bomb.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it felt. It felt like something is wrong. That's not really my fault. But I mean, for the 30 people that were there, it was like all of these people are bad at comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People don't know.
People don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always think that when I'm at a show that's bad, I always want to go like this one table. I wish I could fucking pick you motherfuckers up and bring you to a show where I'm killing.
Yeah.
And then you would completely be like, oh, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of how I felt when I was up there. Like,
I'll have the flip where when I was dating, a girl would see me at a really good show.
Yeah.
And I do really well, and I have to explain like that. It's not always like that. I don't want you to think.
Yeah. Hey, don't think I'm good. Yeah, for sure. So then I got off stage, and let me tell you, most of the comics on the show, I went out and I was smoking a ton of cigarettes at the time. I went out and smoked like a full pack, and then I came back in, and the show was like almost over. And like multiple comedians were just sitting backstage crying.
Oh, wow.
Just weeping, just torn.
Yeah.
Destroyed people.
Yeah.
These like all of us were young. We're all like 25, you know, at the oldest. I was 22.
Yeah.
And just devastated because this was like built up to us as if it was like the biggest thing that could ever happen.
Right.
And it would be our, you know, launching pad to a
Right,
real
right,
career
right,
in stand up. And it was nothing. It was nothing. It was like a huge smoke and mirrors, just kind of like, fuck you.
Right.
Now, how many, you said you had 2 shows for the whole.
So they added another show for us.
Because they fucked up the first one?
I'm sure that they were gonna give it to us anyway, but then they added money. Like we got paid to, and I'm sure that was like hey, can we at least like pay them something? It's not like a huge, you know.
Yeah.
So we did actually end up getting paid, which is the first time they did that. But it was a consolation prize too.
Right.
Everything else.
How was the second show?
Terrible.
Same deal.
No, it was.
This
packed.
show was so bad that we decided that you actually are performing. It's just like a job now.
Yeah.
You're hired.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you can perform at nightmare shows.
Yeah.
We got
Exactly.
more of those.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't a nightmare, but it was just not good.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, you want to do like an average show that we'll pay you to do, and they recorded it, and it's on YouTube somewhere. It's like one of these Kevin Hart.
But this one was full.
This one was fuller. Yeah,
What's-
this was full. It wasn't a big theater. It was just like a room.
How many people though? Like
Maybe like 80 or 100 around
That's
there.
not
decent
bad.
show.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
the second
You
show
have
was
fun.
fine. But
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't like worth going to
well, sure, of
another
course.
city. And
That's what they always say is the industry rooms are just terrible because it's all.
But this wasn't an
agents who just
industry
don't give
room.
a
This
fuck.
was the second show where there was a crowd. Those were just like Montreal people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck, man, I'd rather be baking dog treats right now.
Dude,
than-
I did
yeah.
have. I missed it a little bit.
You're eating
Right.
dog treats. He was like, fuck, man, I need to go back to my own gig.
Right.
Yeah. So you had the second show. It was decent. Were there any reps there or anything? Did you get anything out of that?
got nothing out of it.
It was just, let's try and give them a good time.
Yes,
They
it was
didn't
literally
give
like,
them
hey,
money because
Yeah.
they felt bad.
they felt bad for us. That's
And
all
so
it was.
the only reason that you broke even is because it was shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically.
All right.
And here's the kicker at the end of it is that we found out. So first of all, our show, the one that was terrible, was on at the same exact time as Roast Battle, which at the
Oh.
time in like 2015
Was
was
the biggest thing ever thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Jeff Ross. and all-
relatively new.
Yeah.
pretty
So-
new. Yeah, probably been around a year or so.
So that probably gobbled up the audience that they expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody who got tickets just ended up going to
It's-
Roast Battle, which was right down the street. It was like a 30-second walk from
Right.
our stage, and because they were under the impression that they had sold out the theater, they were turning people away.
Oh no!
People had come up to get in the room to buy a ticket, and they said we're sold out, and they turned people away. So we don't know how many people got turned away, but I feel like it was dozens. Like there was like it could have been a substantially better show.
Okay,
Right.
so I wouldn't consider that. That's not necessarily a scam. It's just that the people fucked up royally.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
was just a huge fuck up.
Yeah,
It was just a disaster.
I'm surprised. Did you ask to come back? Like, let me come back next year and just do a couple spots and some so I can
What?
showcase
What
myself.
are you talking about? That's
no
not
way.
how it works.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but I've heard that Unwrapped
But if
is
so-
always
but if-
bad.
yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
told me
but
they
if-
went up
if
and
they
did 2 minutes. Yeah.
And then what? They got off
Like no, there was a 2-minute showcase.
Then he got repped.
at JFL.
Unless I'm remembering, it might have been 5. But even
It's probably 5.
even
Two
5,
is-
it's a fuck you.
2 is
Yeah.
was the creek in the cave. Like,
right,
yeah,
right. Yeah, they picked their name out of a bucket.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was rough, and I think from our year they started doing stand up. They started doing new faces differently because of
right.
us. They were like, all right, we got to change things around. Those guys got
Yeah.
fucked over.
Yeah.
But I mean that doesn't feel good
I-
to be like the turning point.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, you get the credit, which helps, I'm sure, get booked a little bit, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
could always.
I did Jimmy Kimmel shortly after it, so it was like,
Yeah. So
you know, I was
so you
fine.
got your
with-
fucking late night.
yeah, I did, but I mean, it wasn't like.
How'd you get that? Would they saw related at all to JFL? Or
No,
just-
it actually was related. It was one of the assistants to Jeffrey Singer. What eventually split off
Yeah.
and started booking Jimmy Kimmel for like maybe a year or something, and then she booked me.
So
for
you
that.
fucking
So
got
I did-
Kimmel
I did.
through it.
But not like she
I-
knew me pre
All right,
JFL
okay,
too.
All right. Okay.
So
okay.
she could have just asked me,
Yeah,
and I was
right.
the only one from that crop of people that got it from that.
Right.
So like
right.
she books other, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
probably would have asked me to do it regardless.
Right.
But I mean, maybe an argument could be made that the reason she wanted to book me for it was because she felt bad
Yeah.
from the JFL.
I don't
So
think
you're
so.
right. I don't know.
Probably not,
Yeah,
man.
how bad is the show
Dude, you
that
don't-
you actually have a career based on the pity off that one show?
You don't put someone
Yes.
on TV
Yeah.
because you're like, I don't know, man. I kind of fucking I
Yeah,
booked
yeah.
him on a shitty show.
Yeah.
You want to do Kimmel and then we're cool?
Dude, that's how it felt a little bit.
I think you'd have to get like shot on stage or something for it to be that bad. And be like, give him a TV
It's like
spot.
her date shoots you. And you're
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I was drunk.
Yeah, yeah. Want to do the show?
Meanwhile, that was the craziest thing about the Chappelle special, where it's like at the point where he's like, she's done comedy 8 times. She bombs for 45. Why do you let her do 45? And then he's
I
like,
know,
open
that's
for me
crazy.
anytime. It's like, I'm calling bullshit a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? This is somebody who's not doing stand up. You don't keep giving them opportunities.
He
Right.
makes himself look very good in that
Yeah,
story.
yeah. If you don't know anything about comedy, you're like, wow, this is the most generous man on earth.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're like, wow, I wonder if that's a constructed narrative that he wants us to buy into. And that's
Yeah.
the whole point of all of this.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think he did that? Part of me thinks he is such an egomaniac that he would let a random person do 40 minutes just so he can go on after and be like,
Sure.
well, what? I'm so cool, aren't I?
Yeah,
Fuck that.
I think
That
also,
train wreck.
Yeah, I also think maybe he's just confident enough to know that it doesn't matter what happens before him.
Right.
So
No, it's
you know,
my friend saw him like a couple years ago before he officially made his return, when he was starting to do shows before all the Netflix stuff, and he was like, he came out like 3 hours late.
Funny.
Like once people reach a certain level of celebrity, they have no problem just telling everybody to fuck off,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they get off on it a little
it's called
bit too.
Guns N' Roses syndrome.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because that's what they used to do.
they do. A
Yeah.
lot of people do that. I think
A lot
Mary
of
J.
people do.
Blige and Lauryn Hill do that also.
No, really?
Yeah,
Well, they have Guns N' Roses syndrome.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. I'll tell them.
Chronic. Yeah.
I'll tell them that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a pretty bad scam.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would consider it a scam. I
Nice.
mean, yeah, I was thinking about what other things have happened to me, and that's probably the most like, oh, there was some deception going on. And you're right,
Sure.
it was logistical. It wasn't completely our fault.
Yeah,
or
the-
their fault. It was just everyone fucked up.
The
in a
fact that
way.
the guy is saying it's being sold out, it's
Yeah.
being sold out, it's being sold out.
Maybe it was sold
then-
out. That's the point. If
Yeah,
they're turning
maybe
people
it
away,
was.
or maybe they just do this every year, and they just fucking find somebody who went there the year after you. Have you spoken to anyone who did it
Yeah.
the new format?
They stopped doing unwrapped. Now
Yeah.
they just do them together so that people can't
You can't tell.
discriminate between the two.
Oh, that's way
Because
nicer.
It is smarter to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also,
it is kind of an insult, the
yeah.
unrepped, and it's kind of like makes you look like a
it's-
dog that no
it's
one wants at the
hierarchical.
pound.
Right,
Yeah,
right. That's so true. But the funny thing is, at the time,
an
I thought it made
insult.
sense. At the time, I was like, no, it's good. So
Everybody who wants somebody to rep.
right is going to go there. But of course, that's not how the industry works. The industry just wants everyone to already be
I got booked on
Yeah.
JFL Ugly Faces. It's I don't know how I feel about it, but
New faces, parentheses, that are ugly.
yeah, I'm like, God damn it.
That are fucking hideous. That's
man.
funny.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. You seem to be doing fine otherwise.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst thing.
It was a slight hiccup when you're 22.
You
so
recovered.
who gives a shit.
That's
Yeah.
true. It
Yeah.
actually didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is fine.
Yeah.
A lot of people
mean,
would have started
what-
doing coke after that.
What
Not you.
worse scams have there been
Worst scam.
on
I mean,
on this podcast?
people have talked about committing fraud, keeping money.
Oh, wow, like
insurance
actual
fraud.
criminals.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about criminals. I don't feel like if you take money from an insurance company that you're a criminal as much as
Okay.
Let's call it low level criminal activity.
All right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like fraud on the level that you the police wouldn't have to get involved.
or like
Ah.
somebody fucking you tell somebody you're going to pay the money and then you don't.
Yeah. Or if
comics
somebody
have done this. to-
Renan
to
talked
people?
about like he was subletting a guy's room and or he took over a room
Yeah.
that a guy had paid rent for but left, and then the guy asked him for the rent and he didn't give it
he
to
moved
him.
in early and goes, I'll pay you
Ah.
for the early rent money for like 2 weeks of the rent that I move in early. And
Yeah.
then he was like, I don't know, man, don't rip me off. And Renan was like, don't worry, I won't. And then
And
a
then he
couple
did.
weeks later,
Yeah.
Renan was like, my word means nothing. I'm not giving you this money.
Yeah, or we talked about this last week. You saw that there's a scam going around comics where they get
Yeah.
asked to do. So
Which
like,
happened to Renan.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that,
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't get that.
No, I
did
didn't, and a part of me was sad that I didn't. I was like, oh,
No, it's
Part of me
probably
was-
good, dude.
I don't know. I want a guy to want me to make a funny video for his wife.
But here's the thing. That guy doesn't exist.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm being facetious.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't actually want to get scammed.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to be imaginarily liked by
I mean,
someone.
I do feel a little left out.
Right.
I mean, because even that guy who's sending
No,
these messages to comics knows that these are comics.
Right. He's got a list of comics,
Yeah.
and for some reason,
And why
you're,
am I
you're
not-
not on it.
Why am I not on that
No,
list?
Yeah.
my theory is
Maybe
that
he thinks you're too
it's a
big.
disgruntled open micer. It's
Yeah.
a disgruntled open micer.
Oh wow.
And
No,
maybe
it's a theory.
yeah.
no, that's a good theory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
theory.
I buy it.
and that you probably came across him and you were like, hey man, good set. And now he's
You're
like you're like nice in his head.
Yeah.
And then Renan was like, ugh, to that guy, and he's like, I'll get you one
I'm
day.
beginning to think that you two are this guy.
Whoa,
Yeah.
hey,
I'm beginning to
what?
think
Man, how do you think we pay for this studio?
Yeah.
And then we lure our victims in, and we're like, tell us about a scam that happened. Oh, that happened.
this is
Oh,
sick.
yeah,
You two
yeah,
perverts.
you like that.
Ugh.
Um,
Sure. Yeah, that's what's yes.
yes.
Very good.
Very good. Did you want to
Yeah.
It's 4:57. I know you have to go by 5:30. Did you want to talk about your wedding? Marriage?
Sure. I mean, again, I don't know if this is really a scam, but it's it was a little weird. When I was 17,
Yeah.
very devout Muslim kid, right?
Yeah.
Super religious.
Wait,
And
were you born here?
yeah, I was born in
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, born in Florida, but my family's very religious and
So you just had devout parents, and that's why you're still devout.
super. Yeah, for sure. And also, I mean, I think
There was
if
a community in Florida big enough to sustain.
no. I mean, I lived in Ocala, this really tiny town in Central Florida, but
Was there a mosque?
there was.
Yeah.
It was small. It was like maybe 70 families,
Yeah.
maybe less than that. But I don't know.
It's a
if you're
mosque /
isolated-
combination Pizza Hut.
Yes, exactly. If you're isolated enough, that functions as more of an instigator to be religious. I think because
There's nothing else to do.
there's nothing else. Right, there's nothing else to do, and also it's you against the world. And after
Right.
9/11, a lot of Muslims kind of had that attitude in America. So we were like that. We were very
Right.
like proud of being Muslim and stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, one of the big things in Islam is not to have premarital sex, which is a part of every religion. And in high school, I got really involved with this girl, this white girl. I would really fell in love with her, and I wanted to fuck her, right? And I mean, I'm saying it now to be funny, but at the time I didn't think of it like that. At the time I was like, I want to be with this girl, and I don't want to be one of these guys.
It's funny that you have the religion in your head so much that you don't think of it like that. Like it's so simple. It's like penis and vagina. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But you had to have how do I serve God to have this
Yeah.
happen? Yeah.
But you said I don't want to be one of the guys in the mosque.
Yeah, because there's dudes at every mosque in America who like have secret white girlfriends.
Oh, right.
And I was like, I'm not gonna be that guy.
You
I'm
want to
not
do it above board.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want to be legit. I'm gonna be a trailblazer. I'm gonna actually marry my secret white girlfriend.
Yeah.
And my dad, you know, he's a really weird guy, really religious.
So your mom is white, Irish.
Yes,
and
Irish.
Your dad is Syrian.
Right. And my mom's a convert. So,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
the door is open to like white people being a part of our family. My wife now is a white woman.
Can I ask this? Did your mom convert before she met your dad?
No.
So she fell in love with this man and then converted to Islam.
Yes, she converted after having a kid with him. So
Wow.
she had been with him for probably a year or two before she converted. But that's a common story. That happens a lot. So yeah, I was like, I'm gonna marry this white girl, and I told her like, hey, for us to date, we have to like get married, and she was very obviously, you know, reticent to
Just a chick from Florida?
just a random chick from Florida,
Yeah.
a high school, just a senior in high school
Oh
with
my
me,
God.
That's fucking hilarious.
who was
That's,
just like a hot girl, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
not like not any like weird like book smart kind of.
No.
Oh, I'm open, not spiritual or anything like that. Just a girl.
Just some bimbo from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Just some dumb fucking bitch
Fake
who I
tits.
hate.
She's fake tits on
That's
rollerblades.
why.
She's fucking.
Yeah.
She's excited to go to FSU and just like fucking, do
Yeah,
rails.
for sure,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Just like suck a bunch of fucking frat guys' cocks, and you're like,
Totally.
would you do me the honor?
Yes, it's like, I would love to wed you. It really was
Yeah.
like I was a dude from the fucking 14th century.
Did you get
coming
down
in
on
here
one knee?
like-
Were
That's
you?
awesome.
Was it a one knee thing? Or?
No, there was no need because she really was not into it.
Yeah.
And
Getting
for
married
obvious
in high
reasons,
school?
yeah, totally. And she was doing it like, all right, it'll be like this weird religious ritual thing that I'll do with you.
She thought it was like a Vegas, like
yeah,
Vegas man. It'll be
yeah.
like a little technicality. We're doing a little loophole.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And I told her it's all gonna be like, not. Don't worry, we're not gonna like go to the courthouse. It's just gonna be a religious ritual. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a big religious thing, but it's not gonna be legally binding. And I told her mom
Oh.
this. Yeah, totally.
So
right.
it wasn't legal. You didn't do
Thank
the
God.
civil.
No. It would have been that
Oh.
would have been scary if I'd done that.
Yeah.
You would have lost all of your money.
So
I
you
would have lost everything I owned.
Yeah,
So
you
I would have
had
lost
millions-
$35.
Yeah, I know.
So you would have had only a Muslim marriage, but it wasn't recognized by the state.
No, it wasn't. But,
Okay.
but I mean, yeah, and I told her mom that. Her mom was
Yeah.
this redneck Trump. Well, this is pre-Trump. This is 2010.
But she was really into Trump.
Well, you know what she was?
She loved The
was
Apprentice.
one of these people who voted for Obama and then immediately regretted it and definitely ended up voting for Trump.
Wow.
Yeah, her mom, not her. She's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
How do you immediately regret it?
So it was in early 2011 that we actually did it. And that was around the Tea Party time.
Oh, okay.
That's when
yeah.
Tea Party became a
Oh.
thing. That's when Fox News started like amping up,
Right.
you know, the Hussein and all that, which they had been doing before. But yeah. So the mystique of Obama had worn off, and this is when a lot of Sharia laws
Yeah.
came into America. And Florida passed a Sharia law that basically bans Sharia law from ever
Anti-Sharia law.
anti-Sharia, an anti-Sharia law. So Florida had one at the time
Still.
and still has one.
It's so funny because it's the same people that are anti-Sharia law who are like anti-abortion laws.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so true. And
Yeah.
also, like, if you're passing a law to prematurely end Sharia law from ever coming to your state, the only way that it would ever be voted on in support of Sharia law would be if the majority of the people
Yeah.
living in
Right.
Florida were suddenly Muslim, which in that case, it's like, they'll find a way around this weird...
Fundamentalist
yeah,
Muslim.
yeah.
It's still a democracy.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like if you have over 50% fundamentalist Muslims,
Yeah.
guess what? They can just vote
Yes.
against the
Also-
fucking stupid law that you made.
Also,
Right.
having the
Yeah.
law there just makes me want to practice Sharia law even more.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I've been doing
Yes.
out behind the 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
right?
We do
Yeah.
Sharia law.
Which way's east? Which way's east?
What we did was Sharia law. We got a Sharia marriage.
Wow.
We did it by the Sharia rules, which are very,
Whoa.
you know, if you're not living in like Iran or Saudi Arabia or something, the Sharia way to get married is very simple. It's just like you have to have like 2 witnesses and like a imam, which can be anybody. So
Yeah.
my dad was like, I'll be the imam. And we met at a falafel restaurant.
This is so cute.
No.
This is so
Yes,
funny.
we did.
That's
dude.
fucking
We did.
hilarious, dude.
We met at a falafel restaurant on a Friday
What was it
after
called?
school. Shit, I don't know. It was one far from my house. I'd never been to.
We
I
got
used-
married at a falafel
Yes.
restaurant on a Friday
Yes,
after school.
After school. She was
Combination
wearing a tie-dye
falafel.
t-shirt.
Falafel
Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
It was my dad. It was 2 of his patients. He was a doctor. And they were just kind of like 2 old white people who were like, Dr. Lou, we love anything you do, you know.
We call him Dr. Lou.
They called him Dr. Lou, yeah, Loutfi. And Yeah, she was just really like, can we just be in and out with this whole thing?
Yeah.
And
It's like, my falafel's ready. Come on, let's
yeah,
go.
yeah, she was
I'm hungry.
immediately over it, and all
36.
of our in the middle of saying I do. Yeah. Falafel hummus. Yeah.
Hold on, no. We gotta. I ordered tahini. It's not on this. I gotta.
Yeah.
Complaining.
So we had the little marriage ceremony, and it was like no thing. I told her like, hey, don't worry, it's not gonna be a big deal. No one's ever gonna talk about it again. It's gonna be like we're dating. It's not a big deal. But one of the rules of Sharia marriage is that after you get married, you have to announce it to the community.
No.
Right? So my dad did at the Friday prayer, which is like our sermon, Sunday service or whatever. He stood up after the prayer and was like, I have to tell the community that my son Ismael got married.
Everyone's like, his secret white girlfriend? You don't marry those.
Yes.
What are you doing?
What are you fucking doing, dude?
No, I have older brothers, so everyone was like, wait, you mean your brother? You mean his brother got married?
Right,
and
right,
he's
right.
like, no, Ismael, the one who's 17. They're like, all right. And at the mosque, there was this other kid who was in my grade but went to another school, and he was a huge gossip named Mohammed. And that was his name. And
Mohammed the Prophet? No, Mohammed the Gossip.
Yeah.
His fucking shitty
The
friend.
opposite.
He doesn't keep his
so
fucking
funny.
mouth shut.
No, dude, for real, Mohammed, dude, this kid,
He talks shit about Muhammad the Prophet.
Dude, I don't want to. But anyway.
So what happened?
He was a gossip.
What did Mohammed the Gossip do?
Muhammad the Gossip.
He went to another high school. He went to the preppy high school, and he told everybody. He told everyone, like, do you know Ismael from Vanguard? He got married to blank from Vanguard, and everyone was like, "Oh my!" And it spread, and then it ended up getting to our school.
Yeah.
And then everyone kind of like weirdly knew and was like, "Are you two like?" And it became this like disgusting like.
Right. They thought it was weird.
Yeah,
you were weird.
Yes, it felt like just real like.
And it sounds pretty weird to me.
No, it was weird, but it was this thing that we.
Like what?
It felt like lustful Arab.
Right.
Stealing a woman, like that's how it felt.
Okay.
It really felt that
like
way.
They're coming to our country and stealing our women.
Yes,
and
exactly.
forcing them to get married in high school,
having weird secret heisty marriages where they're like
right.
going to falafel restaurants. The whole thing just like smacked of like Orientalist fear, right? And I remember this one of our teachers like took us into a room and was like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
You're too young. And I just wanted to be like, I'm just trying to fuck in my car, in my Dodge Neon.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get laid in my Neon in the parking lot of a
Your dad
bank.
wouldn't let you fuck your wife in your room?
No, because, well, that's so funny.
I mean, you're legally you're married according to Islam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, because the thing is, we were basically, this is the other thing that annoyed me, is that her mom was so fucking against it.
Yeah.
Because she was like, it's weird, it's fucked up. But I'm like,
She's
fucking other dudes. If it's not me, she's gonna fuck another dude.
Yeah.
At least I'm being upfront. I'm
Yeah,
going,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I'm gonna fuck your daughter.
Yeah.
Whatever. Don't worry
I
about
think
it.
Americans prefer the lie.
Yeah.
Americans prefer the lie. It's
Yeah.
absolutely the case.
That's funny.
Americans would have preferred me just to like fuck her and not tell anyone ever, and that's fine.
I'm sure you also would have preferred that than getting married.
No.
I mean, in terms of like, simplicity, it would have been easier just to lie, but I don't know. And anyway, then she went off to some camp and called me on the phone and broke up with me 6 months later. So
you don't have to get a Sharia divorce.
you do. The way you get divorced in Sharia is you say, I divorce you.
You had to vomit up that falafel you ate.
Did you make her say it?
No. The guy has to say it. So a little misogynistic, but it was this funny thing where I'm like crying on the phone and she's like, say the magic words.
Oh, really?
Like, no, and then I did. I let her free.
Wait, on that
she's
same
like,
conversation?
okay.
All that conversation. Talaq means I divorce you.
Talak.
Talaq.
Nice.
You say it 3 times in a row.
It means backsies. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
say talak, talak, talak.
There you
And
go.
then it's
You just
done.
divorced all of us.
Did you pause right before the third one? You're like, I'm gonna miss you, baby.
You're like talak, talak, talak and a half?
But the only reason it was so easy, by the way, is because we didn't own any
I
property.
think it's weird that the.
If we owned property, it would have been like a whole. You would have had
I
to.
I think
do
it's-
shit. If we had kids, it would have been a whole
I
thing.
think it's
get a
weird that
car.
you get the same way you get divorced in that religion is the same way you conjure up Beetlejuice.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Just say it 3 times.
right.
Yeah. Beetlejuice is the demon of divorce in,
Yeah.
in Catholicism, actually. That's
Um,
wild. And then what?
Is
and
that a
then it was,
scam?
So you were married for 6? No, it's just a great
It's an
story.
amazing story.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a little bit of a scam. Well, so here's the bigger thing for me, because I'm not devoutly religious, right? I was raised Catholic, but I don't care.
Yeah.
About hell. But I've always had this thing where it's like Jews will have the thing where they're like, we're not allowed to use technology, so we need a non-Jew to come turn the lights on. It's like, but you're using technology. Or like Catholics will be like, well, we can't use birth control, but if we have sex during certain points of our cycle, then it's like, yeah, you're using fucking birth control.
Yeah, it's a loop.
So yeah, what's the point of loopholes? Like, do you think God was just very literate? Literal? Sorry. Yeah, he's very literate. He read a lot. That fucking guy.
I mean, I don't think of it as a loophole, though, because I didn't do anything completely wrong. The only thing I did wrong is that I didn't do it.
But you knew that it wasn't an actual marriage. The whole point of marriage is you're merging the families together and you're going to be together for life.
And that's what I was genuine. I mean, did you ever have a girlfriend in high school?
I got married.
Let me
talked about this in Germany.
You've had the same story than me. How old were you when you got married?
Yeah, but we weren't religious. I was 24. We weren't religious. I got married so I could get a visa in Germany.
Right. Okay. So that's a totally different thing. When I was with this girl, I genuinely thought I would be with her for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I was a kid. I was 17.
But then you did lie to her when you were like, "Listen, it's just a little technical thing. We gotta." You're like, meanwhile, in your head, you're fucking having like little Ismaels with her. Yeah.
I totally
she's
did.
Fucking converting to Islam.
I think a lot of Muslim kids are like that. We're very romantic.
Yeah.
Especially in America because we feel very like isolated and alone all the time. So yeah. I mean, I did totally think that, and I think a lot of kids have that kind of instinct.
Okay, but so then
everyone, it's I'm marrying my high school sweetheart.
Yes, that's how I viewed it.
Yeah,
but then you're right that I was kind of like, but it's not that big a deal.
But that culture
to her, I was saying.
I gotta ask, was it worth it?
I would say so.
I mean,
you got to have sex.
Yeah, you got to have sex. But I'm saying, like, when you had sex, you're like, look, what's going on in your head?
You know, the funny thing is that I think
this probably this feels good. That's probably what's going on in his head.
No. You know what I mean?
But it's thinking about Sumerians.
Yeah. No. You know what I mean? It's like you go through that whole process, and you're finally get to experience this thing for the first time that you made this huge thing about.
I was 17, so like, I didn't actually have to wait that long. I think I lost my virginity like younger than a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I remember. I mean, this is how everything is. The second you get it, I remember being like, "Oh, that was fine."
Yeah,
I remember being like that. I mean, it really wasn't just to have sex with her. It was because I wanted to date her. And if you Muslims, we don't have a culture that religious Christians have in America, where they'll like date boyfriend and girlfriend, and they go out and they'll like not have sex, and it's kind of this thing where they're sort of like full of shit, but they're like soaking, like what the thing Mormons do now.
Yeah.
Do you know about soaking?
No, I don't know what soaking is.
It's because apparently in Mormonism, like the act of sex is like the friction. So what they'll do is a woman will lay onto a guy she'll lay on a guy and put his penis in her, and then a friend will get on the bed with them and jump on it.
Until one of them comes.
Until one of them comes.
Yeah.
Who knows which one? But, yeah.
The friend's also rubbing her clit.
Yeah.
You're like, you need a really good friend.
Yeah. So Muslims
smell my fingers. Fred just fucked his wife.
Right. Right.
It's, Muslims don't do that. We don't fuck around with. You were talking about loopholes. We don't really do loopholes like that.
Yeah.
So for me, my loophole was having a fucking wedding that my dad was officiating in a weird Arabic way.
Can I ask this?
Yeah.
So divorce is not allowed in Catholicism. Is divorce haram?
It's not
Islam?
haram. No, it's in Islam. The way that they talk about it is it's the least favored acceptable thing.
Okay, so
but it's allowed.
So because divorce is allowed,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be for life. So you can just do this anytime you date somebody.
I mean,
as long as there's no property involved.
The funny thing is, there are certain places in the world where there are temporary marriages. In Iran, they have a thing that's temporary marriage, where they do exactly what I did, but it's like I don't know if it's like a really normalized thing, but it's not unheard of.
I think it's like progressive.
Yeah.
Probably progressive parents are
hey, man, you
trying to stay within the lines.
You want to marry me for like 40 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. They used to do that in the Ottoman Empire. Prostitutes would sign like a really short-term marriage and then have sex.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, or maybe I made that up. I actually don't remember.
Yeah.
That would be
There's
fucking
a chance
great.
I just invented
You
that.
sign the short-term marriage, and all of a sudden she's like, I have a headache.
Yeah.
She's immediately a huge bitch to you.
she's like, your brother's a dick.
It's like
you
wake up the next morning, it's like, oh man, I got this headache. Oh man, I think I got married 3 times last night.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I ask this? And if this is too personal, you don't have to answer it. But did you have any non-marriage dating between her and your wife, or were you just
that's
like
a good quote.
celibate after that?
No.
Did you break the seal after that? And you're like, I'm just fucked now.
I did just fuck after that between her and the current my wife.
You
now.
were like, it's a lot of work to get your dad involved every time you want to bust
Yeah, yeah. And
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, Dad, I need you to come down here and marry us real quick.
Yeah,
She's starting to
after a
sober
show.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, I did some fucking after that, but I'm not proud of it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like it's I shouldn't have done that.
Do you wish you hadn't?
What was it with animals?
Yeah, it was with children.
Was it? Yeah.
All children. No, I mean it's just
He fucks kids. No, baby goats. Come
Yeah,
on.
we're baby goats.
yeah.
So what were you saying? What? So you all right? So you would? I mean, it's like you see it as a thing that you did lustfully, but
Right, it's the thing I'm not proud of. Just because
Wow.
it's against Islam, and you're not supposed to be proud of your sins. You know what I mean?
sure.
So
So you do view them as sins, I guess, is the answer.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I mean,
Well, I want you
what
to
do
know
you
that
want to do?
I'm proud of your sins.
Thank
Good
you.
for you, man.
And
Getting
that,
in.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't, I can't lie. I am, it is kind of cool. Getting laid is cool no matter what.
It did
But-
feel good. Yeah. It's not like,
Right. Well, how do you?
it's not like it burns. Yeah.
Well, how do you relate to like Americans in the culture of just like going on Tinder and having sex with someone you barely know because you're both fucking alone and it'll make you feel good momentarily?
How do I relate to that? I mean,
Yeah,
I
like,
was
is
a
it-
part of that for
Yeah.
years.
So you don't have like a sense of judgment or disgust with this as being kind of like so prevalent.
No, I do have judgment and disgust. I mean, I think it's.
Thank God.
I think sex
Yeah.
in our culture is really sad. I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a terrible thing, kind of the way that it's so just it's hyper.
Well,
everyone's
it's
fucking
lost
all
all
the time.
meaning.
It's completely devoid of any kind.
It's like everything has become entertainment.
Yes.
And it's also so transactional.
Right.
And it's just like it's almost like I'm bummed. I need to do something. Hey, can I come in you? All right, cool. See you later.
Yeah.
And then that's just it. And it's like this thing that could be like people coming together and some sort of like deep bond is just like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
Well, I think it is like that for some people. I think you're talking about you.
No. I forgot to tell you I'm Muslim.
Yeah. Disgusting, the whole thing. Yeah.
All right, shit, man. That was great. That's a
this
fucking
was fun.
killer story. Can I ask this real quick
Yeah,
before we wrap up? So you did the Ringers and you told some version of this story to Bill Burr.
Yes.
What was the deal with that? Like, was it like a full proper conversation, or is it just like everyone's in a line and they're like, the cameras are on, tell a 5-minute story, and he's
actually,
like,
when you were
crazy.
describing the JFL thing, I actually thought of the Ringers a little bit because I was like, because that set you did on that was super short.
Yeah.
It was really short, and it was almost meant as like a this is the person you don't know who you should know.
Showcase stand-up shorts.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
That Comedy Central does.
So the interview with Bill Burr specifically,
Yeah.
that was like what you just described, where you were basically in a line.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Because it makes it look like these are Bill's favorites, and he's handpicked them, and he's got this long, intimate relationship with
meanwhile,
them.
if he had an intimate relationship, he would know that he wouldn't be so shocked that you were married before.
I mean, it was definitely like All Things Comedy, the production company, like, communicating with Comedy Central, and Comedy Central was like, well, you have to pick, like, you can't just pick the Comedy Store people that Bill Burr likes.
Right,
all in their 50s and shit.
Right.
Because there are a few of them on that did that show, but I got picked by a guy that's actually I got picked by what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. No, he's a comic and he's a good dude and he looks like Jared Logan. And he's fucking funny as hell. I can't believe I'm forgetting
Tall,
his name.
blonde comic?
No, he's like a heavier set guy from Boston. Friends with Burr. Oh shit.
Verzi?
This is so embarrassing.
no,
Him and Verzi are probably friends.
Who's a heavy set? He's based in Boston?
No, he's based in LA now. Wow, fuck.
All right. You'll think
Anyway,
about it
he's a
afterwards.
comic and he was working with them and
he
he
put your
hit
name
me
in.
up and
Yeah.
he was like, hey, yeah, do you want to do this?
That's great, man.
And he's like, do you have any interesting stories to talk to Bill about? And I was
You're
like,
like,
yeah,
marry one. Yeah.
yeah.
That's great. So had you met him before, or that was the
No,
first time you're
that
meeting
was the
him?
first time
and
I
you're
met
like, hi, nice to meet you. I was married when I was a child.
Yes.
yeah.
It was like that, and also he is actually scary to be next to. His head is fucking huge.
Yeah,
Bill Burr is.
I've seen him at the stand, and it's like such a presence where you're like, this is the biggest comedian in the fucking country.
Yep.
I mean, you can say Chappelle maybe, but like Burr is probably the most respected
I think
comic, and he's
pound
just
for pound. Burr is a more
Yeah.
he's a better comedian.
and it's just like if he's in the room, that's everybody's having conversations, but everybody keeps looking over at him, and you're just like,
it's actually awkward.
It's very weird.
It is a little bit. He's just this fucking flaming hot white orb,
and he's just got every time I've seen him, he's had a black cap on and a face mask up until the last second because he doesn't want anybody to know who he is until he's fucking
Dude, he's
on
a
stage.
Cool guy.
Yeah,
after my set, he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, you killed up there." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. They're a nice crowd." And he was like, "No, it was you."
That's
Isn't
great.
that cool?
That's fucking awesome.
I think what he's actually doing is like when Rodney Dangerfield finally made it at 50, he did young comedian. He did young comedian special, and that's how Andrew Dice Clay broke. A lot of comics broke through him. And now I think that's like once you reach a certain level, if you're a certain type of comic, you're like, let me use.
You want to help people because there's nothing else you can do for yourself. You did it all.
Yeah.
All right, you got to get out of here, so we're gonna get you out of here. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
This was great, super fun,
So
great
fun.
stories. Guys, follow Ismael Loutfi. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Ismael.Loutfi.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And we'll
Comedy
put that in the
Central
bios.
half hour coming out.
Oh yeah,
in like 6 months. Probably.
Congratulations.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
Yeah.
fucking great.
Yeah.
Very happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm Santiago at Santiago is Dead.
I'm Daniel at Daniel Luis Veza.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for listening. Follow the show. Like, subscribe. Tell all your friends. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.